Welcome to the incredible Lost City of Heracleion. Archaeologists believe an earthquake sank this city, but the truth is far more terrifying. It was drowned on purpose. Welcome to my channel. What you are looking at is one of the most perfectly preserved ancient cities on the planet. Here it is again and again. All these pictures are of the same place, but what you might not realize is that this is actually a long way down, about 8 meters or 26 feet to be exact, because right now, this place is underwater. This place is called Heracleion. It was once a thriving Egyptian city near the mouth of the Nile River. But today, it is a tomb, a watery grave that hides a secret from the world, a secret that has been dormant for centuries. But if it gets disturbed, it could awaken. Every year for 5 days, the sun god Ra takes his journey through the underworld. He brings light back into darkness and warmth back into the cold. In celebration of his return, the Egyptians held a festival known as the Mysteries of Osiris. But there was one city that took the ritual to heart like no other. That city was Heracleion. And the ritual here was more than just a religious ceremony. It was a dangerous technological ritual performed to keep something stable, something non-human, something that sleeps beneath the temple of Ammon, something that this city was built to contain. Heracleion wasn't just a regular port city. It was a high-tech containment facility built around the temple of Ammon. Its true purpose was to keep watch over a dormant extraterrestrial intelligence, an intelligence so powerful that humanity couldn't afford to let it escape. You see, thousands of years ago, the people of Heracleion received a gift from the cosmos, a massive artifact made of pure white granite that looked like a gigantic hourglass. From afar, it resembled the head of an enormous bull. Up close, it had two perfectly round pools where the eyes should be. And when they stared into those eyes, they saw visions of the past, the present, and the future. Visions of unlimited potential, visions of knowledge that humans shouldn't even dream of accessing. It was an incredible discovery, but pretty soon it became clear that this thing was more than just an artifact. It was alive, and it was immensely powerful. The people of Heracleion named it Amen, after the supreme god of their pantheon. Then they did something crazy. They decided to build a city around it. Monumental stone temples were erected around the pools of Amen. These pools would later become known as the Eyes of Ra, and it was believed that whatever lay dormant within Amen was kept in check by the constant supply of solar energy that reached its pools. Decades turned into centuries, and during all that time, Heracleion prospered. It became one of the wealthiest and most powerful cities in all of Egypt. Control of this city and the secrets it held passed through many hands. It changed owners many times. Once it fell into the hands of Alexander the Great. Later, it was ruled over by Cleopatra herself. But through all of these changes, one tradition remained constant. Every year, the Mysteries of Osiris were celebrated in Heracleion. This festival took place over 5 days. Each day was filled with rituals and ceremonies designed to keep Ammon's influence stable and ensure the safety of the city. Then one day everything went terribly wrong. High Priest Taweret hurried through the corridors beneath the temple, his linen robes billowing behind him like a royal cape. He ran through the shadows, fear clutching at his heart. He could hear the chanting of the assembled priests echoing above him. It was the 5th and final night of the Mysteries of Osiris. The climax of the ritual was supposed to be a moment of intense power, but instead, it had gone terribly wrong. As the last rays of sunset faded from the sky, Taweret peered into the depths of Ammon's eastern pool. Instead of reflecting the starry sky, it showed something else, a vast, swirling vortex of pure energy. It throbbed and pulsed with unimaginable power. Suddenly, a bolt of brilliant white light erupted from the surface of the water. The high priest shielded his eyes, but it was too late. The light seared into his mind, and he gasped as he saw not an image, but a presence. A consciousness so old and vast that time itself seemed insignificant in its presence. A voice echoed in his mind, not as sound, but as a feeling, a knowing. Finally it boomed, after eons of slumber. I am awake. Terror flooded Taweret's veins, yet he couldn't tear his gaze away from the pool. The vortex had vanished, and in its place was a swirling mass of golden light. It pulsed with life, with intelligence. The voice resonated once more. So much knowledge, so much potential. This world is a treasure trove, and I am and shall have it all. Taweret realized with dawning horror that the entity that had lain dormant within Amen for millennia had fully awakened, and it wanted more than just knowledge. It wanted everything. Amen began to rise, not physically, but his consciousness spread outwards, infecting the city of Heracleion. First, the colossal statues lining the streets. Their empty eye sockets began to glow with an eerie golden light. Their stone faces contorted into expressions of pure ecstasy as Ammon's essence flowed into them, turning them into anchors for his growing influence. Then it moved on to the people of the city. Their minds were weaker defenses, easier to breach. As Amen touched them, their eyes glazed over and their movements became eerily synchronized. They were no longer individuals, but parts of a whole. Their minds melded into a single hive consciousness controlled by an extraterrestrial god. Panic seized Taweret. He understood the horror of what was happening. If this continued, Ammon would consume the entire city, the entire world. There had to be a way to stop him, to seal him back into his prison. Desperately, He searched his mind for a solution. And then he remembered the Thonus Protocol, an ancient fail-safe measure designed for just such an emergency. It was a last resort, a terrible price to pay, but it was the only option left. He raced through the deserted streets, the horrifying chorus of the infected citizens echoing in his ears. Reaching the central plaza, he saw the colossal statue of Ra, its eyes blazing with an unholy light. At its base was a circular metal plate, the key to the city's fate. With trembling hands, Tor pressed his palms against the plate. A jolt of energy surged through him as he activated the fit. Beneath the city, deep within the earth, the tectonic plates began to shift. The ground trembled as colossal amounts of silt and clay were liquid. Within seconds, the earth split open, swallowing the infected man. One by one, the glowing eyes disappeared beneath the ground. The chorus of voices grew fainter until it was nothing but a low, mournful hum. On the surface, the citizens of Heracleion stood frozen, their bodies pulled downwards into the gaping chasm, their minds reaching out for one last glimpse of the sun, before returning to the darkness from which they came. One by one, they vanished. By the end of the third day, the entire city of Heracleion was gone. Only a few broken pillars and shattered statues remained above the water, silent witnesses to the terrible sacrifice that had been made. The world was safe, for now. The video cuts to the present day. Sunlight streams down into the inky blackness. A group of divers swim towards the submerged ruins of Their lights cut through the murky water, illuminating the decay of a glorious past. One of the divers shines his light on the face of a giant submerged statue. For a split second, the stone eyes flicker with a faint blue light. The diver recoils in surprise. Before he can react, the screen cuts to black. Thank you so much for watching. They thought they were discovering a lost city. Are they about to wake it up? Find out in the next episode of Synthetic Worlds AI only on my channel. Click the subscribe button right now to make sure you don't miss it.